So hello, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you might be. My name is Leanne Bettiol. I am Supervisor of Agent Relations here at Canadore College. Also joining me is Ms. Sonia Takar. She is our Regional Manager located in New Delhi, India, as well as Madan Ding, who is located in China. Now, just a few housekeeping rules. If you don't mind putting your Q&As, so your questions in the Q&A section, down at the bottom of the screen. That would be very helpful. And then Madan and Sonia will be monitoring these questions and answering them live where possible. So I'm just going to begin with projecting my presentation. So just give me one moment, please. Oops, yes, up here. Okay. So I'm just going to go over some of the content of our training today. So we're going to speak about all of our campuses. We'll have program highlights, student residence, English language policy, diversification and geographical incentives, student direct stream, the terms and conditions of the agreement with Canadore College, so your responsibility as an agent, as well as our responsibility to you, the student and agent resources, processes and best practices, tips for successful applications, reasons for study permit refusal, as well as the upcoming International Student Orientation date. Okay. Okay, so beginning with our North Bay and Parry Sound campuses. Now, we have the three campuses here in North Bay, beginning with our main campus right here, located in a forest-like environment. And also you'll see here our aviation campus located right beside the North Bay Airport, as well as the Commerce Court campus and the West Parry Sound campus. I'll speak to you a little bit more about the programs in each of these campuses in a minute. But briefly, at our main campus, our largest campus, you will find programs such as practical nursing, dental hygiene, you've got post-production, environmental technician, and so on. So there's quite a few of the diversity of programs here. Aviation is very specific to aviation type programs. And our Commerce Court campus has mostly trades and technology programs. And our West Parry Sound campus right here, we do offer a couple of programs. It's a smaller campus located about 1 hour and 30 minutes from North Bay, or 2 hours from the city of Toronto. Just as a little reminder, where we're located in North Bay, we're about 3.5 hours from the city of Toronto. Now moving on to our campuses, our partnerships. So Canadore College has a public-private partnership with Stanford International College, which is located in the GTA or Greater City of Toronto area. So there is a campus in Mississauga, Brampton, and Scarborough. And there is another one that's about to open up in the near future as well, just north of the city. Okay, moving on to program highlights. Now, with Canadore, as you can see here from the pictures, as I mentioned just a few minutes ago, we are very diverse in the programs that we offer. You will see here, pardon me here. There's also construction project management, which is located at our Commerce Court campus. You will see here, there's machinist programs, dental hygiene, and so on. Culinary arts is also a big hit for international students. So we're very proud of all the programs we have to offer. So I am going to highlight some of them here. Now, at Canadore College, we do have smaller class sizes, and we are considered a mid-size campus or college, sorry, in Northern Ontario. And we do have very qualified, highly qualified faculty that have the ability to assist students in achieving their goals and objectives to be successful. Now, some of the highlights as compared to, let's say, metro colleges, we do have the smaller class sizes. There's the faculty basically tend to know the students very early in the semester by first names, and they are there to assist. So more one-on-one contact with students. We do collaborate with the village and in the community. So we have a strong, you will see with Canadore, our partnerships are very tight here in the city of North Bay. Okay, I'm going to begin with the International Nursing License Preparation Program. This is a one-year Ontario College Graduate Certificate program. And this program is intended for international educated nurses who have international Bachelor of Science in Nursing or a nursing degree in their home country. And the purpose of this program is to provide these individuals with the tools to prepare to apply for the College of Nurses of Ontario for regulatory licensing. So again, that's more intended for those who are seeking PR, so permanent residence, and hoping to become or practice their profession here in the province of Ontario. Some of the students' learning outcome may include providing patient care, practice within a legal, ethical, and professional scope of practice. They use appropriate technology within the province of Ontario, so it may be different than, say, their home country, communicate effectively, and so on. Some of the placement opportunities, and that's one thing I'd like to mention here, is Canadore has a lot of placement opportunities within the programs themselves. And so it's not to be confused with co-op, mind you, but within the programs, they will get hands-on experience. So that again leads back to that strong partnership or that liaison we have with the community partners here in the city. Also, some of the other opportunities may include long-term care facilities, hospitals, public health agencies, and so on. We also have an actual flyer that we will be able to provide to you. So just reach out to us. So reach out to any one of the three of us, and we'll be able to provide you with a flyer that you can circulate to potential students. The Behavioral Science and Technician Technology Program is a 2 or 3 year diploma program. As you can see here, it's full-time. So this program will provide students with real-world experience through multiple work placements and clinical settings. The specialized program will train students to work with children with autism spectrum or with adults that may have an acquired brain injury, and other disabilities. Graduates of this program will work in diverse situations within community settings, clinical, school, pardon me, it keeps going there. I'll just continue on here on this one before moving on. They will also learn versatile skills to be successful in a business. Sorry, I may have gone ahead, just bear with me here. Okay, moving on. So basically this program will give the students the tools to be able to work within a clinical, school, residential, or hospital settings. So there are lots of opportunities for graduates of this program. Okay, so moving on to entrepreneurship management. So this is a 1-year graduate certificate program that will provide students with the tools to learn to be their own boss and turn ideas into businesses. They will learn to develop and explore entrepreneurship opportunities in a variety of industries and develop comprehensive business plans, strategies, and so on, and marketing plans, and use the market research to optimize the operation of a small business. Enterprise Analysis and Research Program. So this is one of the fastest growing fields within enterprise analysis and research. So data analytics is used in many different ways or different sectors, including marketing, law enforcement, and community and social services. Students will gain the skills required to interpret data and predictive models to successfully give directions to both the private and government organizations. This training provides the foundation for a dynamic career in a number of disciplines, including cybersecurity, artificial intelligence, and so on. The possibilities are endless. The Mechanical Technician Machinist program is located at our Commerce Court campus. It's a 1 year or 28-week to 48-week. So this is it's either the 1 year certificate program or the 2-year Ontario College Diploma program. So this program will teach students to produce custom parts for any type of vehicle or machinery, and good paying jobs in the field are actually readily available for graduating students. Students will be taught by our industry trained faculty and staff in this, as you can see here, our 8,000 square foot lab. And students will receive extensive training on, they will receive extensive training on manual machines as well as automated computer numerical control machining equipment, and gain the skills to produce custom parts for virtually any type of vehicle or machinery. Now, some of the employment opportunities may include industries, say the automotive industry, mining, forestry, and aviation. And these are some of, especially the Northern Ontario, that's where you will see a lot of these industries as compared to, let's say, the metro area or Southern Ontario. The Aviation Technician Avionics program is a 2-year Ontario College Diploma program. And so Canada's aviation industry is predicting a big shortfall of skilled aircraft maintenance personnel across the country. And I think it's safe to say across the world over the next 2 decades. I really have to apologize. This keeps moving ahead on me before I'm done. So students will be trained under the skilled professionals to repair and maintain an aircraft electrical and electronics system. This program is actually approved by Transport Canada. And the professors are actually saying that they are looking for more students to attend the program. Okay, so the mental health and addiction program. So health professionals with training in mental health and addictions are highly sought after. So it's a high demand for these types of professionals. And in this program, students will learn how to prepare. They will train to work with mental health and addiction specific settings and work with individuals who have some mental health and addiction issues. They will learn in class and in the field through simulation and group learning under skilled instruction of our professors. So again, our professors are basically industry. They've been in the workforce, so they are the best persons to really teach the students the best ways and provide them with the right tools and resources to be successful. The college collaborates with agencies, again, across the province and with local institutions for experiential and placement opportunities. So some examples of employment opportunities may include working in hospitals, mental health facilities, corrections, recovery and rehab homes, and so many other opportunities. The civil and mechanical engineering programs. I'll begin with the civil engineering program. So this is a 3-year in-demand program that has unlimited employment options as well. So students that are graduating from this program will have opportunities both in the public and private sectors. So many of the things that we actually use every day is actually impacted by civil engineering. So some examples may include dams, power stations, water and treatment and sewer treatment plants, roadways, and so on. This program will provide the tools of the trade to be successful in this diverse profession. Some future careers options may include structural and municipal engineering, construction design and supervision, highway and transportation engineering, water resources, geotechnician, environmental protection, and so on. Moving on now to mechanical engineering. Students will learn to design, develop, and maintain machine components, tools, heating and ventilation systems, power generation, and manufacturing plants and equipment. Mechanical engineering technician and technologists are sought out after in a number of industries, including mining, manufacturing, and forestry. Again, more geared to Northern Ontario because of the forestry we have, mining as well. We have a big presence here, specifically North Bay. And some of the career opportunities may include consulting engineering firms, manufacturing and processing companies, and government agencies. Okay, so this is basically, in a nutshell, just a few of the programs highlights that we wanted to really highlight today. Throughout the year, you will see a notice from Canadore that we will be providing additional program highlights. So please have a look for those, and we will be able to drill down more into these program highlights by having our dean or associate dean, as well as our program coordinator or leads that will speak to you about these. So that will give you the right tools to be able to speak to students about. So Canadore offers well over 85 full-time programs. And so we do invite you to really look at our program guide that's listed on our website for more information. Our on-campus housing or residence is available in North Bay only. And in North Bay, we do have family housing that's available as well. So we are seeing an increase of families coming to North Bay. And so we may have a student here attending full-time programming, and their spouse might be working full-time with a child, or two. And so we do have family housing available, and we also have individual housing units for students. And for those who are studying abroad, we really encourage you to speak to the student about applying for residence. It is affordable. They do have 24-hour-a-day, 7-day-a-week support there. So that's very comforting to, let's say, parent that is sending their child over to study abroad for the first time. And there's laundry facilities as well as a pretty good rate, $650 a month. Now, also within the residence, it's a great way to really meet new people and make lifelong friends and experience the Canadian culture with other domestic students. So there's students from all over Canada as well. So what better way than to be able to live on residence with other individuals in this manner? Now, right now it is August, so it's really pushing it tight, but if a student is coming in August and they have not applied yet, please encourage them to do so. Even let's say if they say there's a waiting list, it's best to put your application in, or the students to put their application in so that they are on the list. You never know what might come up. There could be some students that may decide to move out of residence into the community. So even if it's, not until January, do it now. I encourage students to do it now if they know they're coming. The English language policy is listed here. So basically the requirements are listed, and it is listed on our website. So for more information about the requirements, just please refer to this slide here or on our website. And perhaps Sonia or Metan, you can share that, as well as residents, the link to the resident, that would be appreciated. Moving on to geographical incentives. Now, the geographical incentives are offered to most individuals that are listed here. We do have different levels. So for instance, all regions in Africa, students that are coming in from Africa will receive an automatic geographical incentive for the amount of 2,500 split into 2 semesters. So that's up to 2 semesters only, but that is applied to their student account. Now, you will notice here, this is for all campuses. However, for students that are coming to us from Bangladesh, Pakistan, Nepal, and Sri Lanka, these geographical incentive is only for North Bay and Parry Sound campuses. And so that's in the amount of 500 Canadian dollars per semester going towards their student account. Now, in other words, this does not apply for any students that are going to our GTA campuses or Canada or at Stanford, located in the Greater Toronto area. Okay, so the following countries qualify for the student direct stream. So any student that are applying from these countries. And so a little bit more on that. So basically this program is designed to make applying for Canadian study permit faster and more efficient. Let's say for some international students from these countries. So they're listed here. I'm not going to go through them one by one. But I'll just speak to you a little bit about some of the what is required through this stream. So basically, the any applications that are eligible through this stream, they aim to have the permits submitted and processed within 20 days. So to submit the application for a Canadian study permit through the program, prospective students' application must have the following information. So provide a copy of letter of acceptance from Canada or College, a confirmation document for the applicant's upfront medical exam, obtain a guaranteed investment certificate or GIC of the amount of $10,000, provide tuition fees, which is part of the letter of acceptance, but basically providing the tuition fees for the first year of study that are paid. So that's very important that it proves that they've paid for the first year. Show proof of language test results that were completed within 2 years of the SDS application being received, and basically demonstrating that the IELTS score is a minimum of 6 in English, or NCLC 7 for French, which really doesn't apply for Canada, but it's good information to have. And the last, once you have all that, once the student has all this information, they submit the application at a visa application center. So this is located, you can find this information as well on the IRCC website. So that's the Immigration, Refugee and Immigration Canada. So as long as you've got that saved as your favorite, you'll have a lot of additional information there that will help guide you. Okay, so before we go on to what's listed on our terms and conditions for our agreement, I just would like to go over some of the 4 rules of engagement that will only help you optimize your relationship with students. So engagement, so the more you engage with students, the more they will engage with you, and the more you'll have the information required to ensure that they have a successful application to Canada. Make sure the information is obtained it's easily obtained and effective. So access to information should be seamless and readily available. So Canada's website, we have a ton of information there. So we have program guides, we have requirements on there. We also have a specific place for you, the agent or counselors, that will assist you. If you're not sure where to find it, we'll be able to help you. The environment. So say you have an office environment, make sure it's welcoming And this will provide students with the opportunity to ask the questions, and virtually as well, having a nice welcoming, let's say like a background like here, something that's gonna show that, you're there to assist and with any of their queries. And empower, so this is so important, empowering the students. Very, very important to make sure they are provided with the right tools to become independent individuals and learners. So they may have some questions, but perhaps you may want to encourage a student to research it themselves to prepare for their travel to Canada, because it's a big step for them. So make sure that they're well prepared, they have the tools. Pre-departure, we always offer pre-departure sessions at Canadore, usually 2 months before each intake, as well as making sure that they've got their residence booked, accommodations, very important. And they have all the proper documents up to 3 months before the intake is about to begin. Okay, so on to responsibilities of the agent or counselors. So I'm just going to go, oh my goodness, sorry about this. I'm going to go over these points because it's very important that these are followed. They're actually also part of the agreement that we have with the agencies. So part of the responsibilities of agents is to promote Canadore's programs and conduct services with integrity and accuracy, recruit students who meet the academic admission requirements in an honest, ethical, and professional manner in accordance with the highest of industry standards. Now, I'm going to touch a little bit more on the industry standards. Colleges Ontario is in the process of implementing new standards of practice for agents. So Canadore, as well as other colleges and universities, will be mandated to have this in place by June of 2024. We're not waiting, so we're doing this now to ensure that you have the right information to make sure that you are following what is as part of our agreement. Also, part of your responsibility is to accurately and honestly inform prospective students of the terms and conditions of admissions to Canadore's programs. So make sure that each student is eligible and they meet the requirements before submitting the application. That goes to the next point: review authenticity of all original documents. You also are responsible to ensure that applicants are eligible to enter Canada on a study permit and temporary resident visa, and are likely to receive the document in study at Canadore in the semester applied. So again, typically 3 months prior to intake, it's really ideal if all the students that you work with have all the information they need, as well as securing accommodations 3 months prior to intake. Otherwise, it's just getting too risky, and it brings the anxiety up in students, because it's a big step coming from another country to Canada to study. I mean, it's exciting, but there's a lot of steps that they have to take. Also, you are to furnish all your labor, materials, equipment, supplies, and other services that are necessary to provide the services. The tools, the labor, materials. You also have a lot of resources, as I mentioned, on the agent relations section of the Canadore website, and you'll see photos there, you'll see videos, you'll see virtual tours. Those are some of the tools that are already there for you to assist the student and to showcase what Canadore has to offer. And you also agree to be here for the onboarding process to make sure that you are well trained. This is all part of the agreement. Once it's signed, that's our responsibility to you as well. So the onboarding is here to provide clarity and include this training. We also have a responsibility to you. So Canadore, we have to exercise due diligence when working with you to recruit international students, to endeavor to ensure that agents have the appropriate knowledge to advise students regarding their academic options. Sadia and Dan are great resources as well. They are experts in knowing what the requirements are. We also have another colleague who's unfortunately not here today, but Sylvie Burns. She's also a great resource when it comes to before you provide or submitted applications, they are able to assist and guide you. So that's our responsibility. And we also have to provide at no cost materials to promote Canadore, assist you by providing specific information related to a particular student inquiry. So for instance, if we have a student coming into the international department here with a complaint with regards to agent conduct, we will take appropriate action and we will investigate in detail what happened. So that is what we have to do to support the students. We're also responsible to communicate changes to policies and procedures and pay commission for each recruited student that are registered with Canadore as a full-time student who remains registered within post beyond the 10-day count. So basically, if a student attends and registered and they stay for the 2 semesters, we pay commission as per the agreement we have with the agency. Okay, on to student and agent resources. So agents and counselors assist students during their application process, pre-departure and post-arrival requirements. Additional resources for students are located on our international microsite. And I've got a little snippet here of what is there. So we do have an international student guide that's going to assist a student while they're here or even beforehand to prepare them to see what North Bay has to offer, as well as Canadore. We also have information about the health insurance, which is GuardMe. Anything to do with employment assistance. So from resume writing to workshops, we have a ton of information here to make sure the student is well prepared and ready to start with Canadore. And our primary way of communicating with students when they are here is with the international, it's called the iSet app. So this is the app that we encourage all students, and you might be able to help students with this information. There is a QR code here, but it's important that the students are aware that this is the best way to communicate with students when it comes to cultural events, workshops. It could be like a vaccine with this is coming up to the fall. So there'll be some clinics, for the flu shots, those kind of things. So there's a ton of information that is listed here. So we encourage the students to download the app. And there's also the academic delivery plan. There have been a lot of queries about this lately. The academic delivery plan is posted on our website and it has been approved and it's not intended to change. And so this, for example, if let's say during COVID, some programs were offered fully online. That may have changed now from last fall to this fall. So it's encouraged that you refer to the delivery, the academic plan, to be able to tell the student how it's being delivered. Most of them know for most programs now, it's back to normal, which we're happy to see back on site. We get to see the international students and domestic students walking our halls again. Okay, on to processes. There's quite a bit of information here. A lot of this, you will find this information on the Q&A on our website, on the international microsite. So these are basically some of the common questions we receive from agents and students. So I'll begin with registration. So this is actually timely because we are about to start fall intake. Students, sorry. Okay, back to the slide. So students should not register, again, should not, until they have received their study permit or visa or visa, and or if they plan to defer. If they plan to defer, do not register. If they do not have the study permit, do not register. We've had a lot of issues with that where students will just pre-register once it's available. But without these in place, with these documents, or if they plan to defer to January or May, please guide that student it creates a lot of a backlog for our staff. Now, if I'll say, like, say if, for instance, student does register without a study permit, they are at risk of their studies. So agents can help communicate this information and discourage this practice. Now, if say a student registered and is unable to attend in class or attend in person, they will have to withdraw their application by completing a specific online withdrawal form. And then, of course, by the time that, say if they request a refund, which we'll talk about next, that can take up to 8 weeks. So again, that's just part of our process and policy. So it's important that students are aware of this. Now, the refund, going into the refund policy and the process, anything that is refund related is initiated by the agent via the OCAS platform and not by email. So this is the only way. So it guides you. It will have step-by-step instructions on how to request a refund. As long as the offer is in a paid state in the system. So let's say a minimum payment was $2,500 or $2,400. As long as we see that, then they can initiate the refund. Now, once proof of payment or receipt is actually in OCAS, then the refund process is kicked in, and the process is flowed through at that point. Students that are filing study permit applications and require receipt, they will be redirected to their agent to upload. So anytime that they pay, so the student, when they file a study permit, the student will receive it, and they have to make sure the agent has that. So that's another a checklist that you may want to ask your students on, making sure that they've provided you with the application, the permit. Okay. Also, what you're responsible for is to making sure you upload proof of payment. So proof of payment in OCAS, again, OCAS is your platform in order for Canadore to issue a receipt. So if we don't get the proof of payment, the student will not get the receipt. So again, that's the order. It's pretty clear, but again, the Q&A section of our website will have a lot of these answered for you. I'm just doing a quick overview here. Now, Canadore also has quick little minute videos on OCAS processes that can be shared with you if you are, say, a new user or you want to refresh. So we do have these available that will show you how to do it. So don't hesitate to ask if you need, let's say, additional information on how to upload proof of payment, for instance. Okay, so student email. So a number of, let's say, from a certain students from India mostly may not have, let's say, last name. So in OCAS, there is a field that has a requirement to have a last name. In those instances, you would put a period or a dot. So please make sure that's there. There has to be, it's a required field. So make sure that first and last name or period is included there. Okay. Deferrals. So a deferral often occurs when the student's visa is rejected. In this situation, agents will have to withdraw the acceptance of the offer in the student's file in OCAS. And once you do that, there will be an option on, they'll ask what intake does a student want to defer to. Let's say, for instance, May is not open yet for Canadore. If it's not there, put a note, just say, would like to defer for May. So that's really important. Now, this is very important as well, is the last date to defer for fall intake is September. So September 1, which is a week from Friday. So again, last date to defer is Friday, September 1. Okay, so late arrivals. So Canadore College does require international students or all students to arrive on time for their studies. each year, we do have some international students that arrive late at the college. Unfortunately, Canadore must inform the student that they will not be permitted access to further classes or labs. So because of the lateness of their arrival. So this will result in the academic progression at Canadore, and they risk losing their fees. So again, please ensure students are aware of this process well in advance. If you feel probably a good idea now to follow up with these students now, to see, are you planning to come? Because if not, you can actually make sure that the deferral is in by September 1st. So this next week is very crucial. Accommodation, deferral, making sure that they're not late. So the first day of class is Tuesday, September, bear with me, 5th. So they have to be here on time. Now, I'm gonna go right into orientation, even though it's supposed to be saved for last. The orientation session for international students is mandatory. And that date is, here.
31st August.
Thank you, it's Thursday. So it's Thursday, August 31st, a week from tomorrow. We ask that students arrive here at 8:30. It's a full day session, but it'll be very interactive. It's so important because we're gonna cover a lot of great things here, things that will ensure that students are successful in their studies. Okay, so, excuse me. So we are now, payment deadlines and extension requests. So, actually, I'm gonna go back because I believe I may have missed the academic delivery plans, but I did touch on it a bit, in the last slide. So the academic delivery plans are posted for all of our campuses on the website. And that, again, is just to reiterate that programs are being delivered online or mostly in person. So basically the default should be in person. If in doubt, you can check the website or request information from either one of us. Okay, so payment deadlines and extension request. So payment extension request, we do receive quite a few queries on this. We will not grant an extension. The dates are listed on the last page of the LOA so you can access that information directly from OCAS, and students can as well. So if students are unable to meet payment deadlines, Canada will have to close the application and students will have to reapply for future intake. So again, very important information here. So the key dates and deadlines are important to reference to achieve the best outcome for the students. So this is available to you and to anybody in the public, but most importantly, students and agents and counselors should refer to dates and deadlines. That could be something that you share with students frequently, just to remind them. So again, just a little tidbit there of information. And down to the last point here, Colleges and Institutes Canada, they offer a course. So we always encourage students and counselors to continue their education. So there are some out there. So that's just one of them. Also CBIE, which is the Canadian Bureau of International Education. They also offer training every winter. And it's broken up into 4 modules over a 4-week period, as well as ISAF. So these are just to name a few. And also, as I mentioned earlier in the presentation, we do have Colleges Ontario that is implementing new standards of practice and that agents will have to follow. So I suspect there will be some training at that point, but please keep an eye on that and I'll be sharing that information when available. Okay, so just a little bit of information here on tips for successful applications. So applications to Canadore are submitted completely via OCAS, as you are aware, excuse me. And some of the following information and documents are required. So the study plan, the content of the plan, and financial support. So I'm gonna drill down a little bit more on these points here. Whoops. Okay, so the study plan, so basically getting or obtaining a letter of acceptance from Canadore. Prove that students have sufficient financial support to cover first year of tuition, as well as living expenses and return transportation to their home country. Because the reason why is IRCC may request an applicant to supply a police clearance certificate, or they may ask, let's say a student is applying for culinary management and their qualifications at home is civil engineering. They may question that as well. So making sure that there is a clear path and clear direction to the IRCC, let's say officer that may be questioning that student. Making sure that the applicant has a clean police clearance or a clean record. Reason why is applicants with a criminal background may pose a risk to Canadian security and they may be refused. Prove that students are in good health, again, going back to making sure that the applicant completes a medical exam. And satisfy to the immigration officer that students will leave, or that student may leave Canada at the end of the stay, authorized by the study permit. Again, just making sure making sure that it is linked to the study permit. So so that's just some of the little tips here. Now, if a student, I'm repeating a couple of things here because it's so important. But students should apply for a study permit. If they haven't already, they're really pushing their risk. I said we're pushing their luck to be here on time. So we want to make sure that if they haven't received it yet, to make sure to defer or to advise the agent. Some of the study permit processing times may vary as well, depending on what country. So that's why it's important. We always use a baseline of 3 months to be able to obtain the study permit. And just a quick list of reasons why IRCC may refuse study permits listed here. Basically, in the slide before, if they don't have any of those, they may risk not being approved to come in. So that's just, again, another little tip here. So I think that's pretty much it. I'm not going to go into too much detail there, but you will be able to find some of this information on the IRCC website. Lots of tips there. So, between Canadore's website, IRCC, there's a lot of information that's going to help you succeed in assisting the student. Okay, so on to, we're almost near the end, but I'm really happy to announce that we do have a fall 2023 International Student Orientation session that is booked for next Thursday, August 31st at 8:30. So we asked students to arrive by 8:30, and it's going to last till about 3 p.m. So it's going to be very interactive. We're going to have, of course, lunch being served, some games and so on. But this is so important for a student as they're beginning their studies. It's days before they start their first day of school, and it's good timing. So if they're here Thursday, August 31st, we want them here. We want to be able to support the students as best as we can, and this is the best opportunity. Sonia will be joining us, so happy to announce, and then we're going to have some staff members here as well that will be able to help with any queries when students are here. So please communicate this to your students. Make sure that this is mandatory, and if they have any questions whatsoever, even between now and then, guide them, tell them to come to the international department. We're here to help, we're here to guide. Okay, and then that is basically it for the formal presentation. So I'd like to just take this time to thank you all. I'm just going to stop sharing here.